Hey guys, what's up? Hey, G4T, surviveandthrive.tv. I'm here with Dave. He is a victim of police abuse, warrantless search and confiscation of guns that are happening in Connecticut. This is actually, we're trying to find out the source of how this happened, but he is a 50-year-old Navy vet. No psychological issues in the past at all. And it looks like the doctors are now coordinating with police to go ahead and confiscate weapons from individuals. And we're hearing multiple stories of this happening across the country. So Dave, you are one of many stories. The video that we did the other day has almost 20,000 views, so it is going viral, your news story. I have a feeling probably Alex Jones will pick this up, as well as other alternative media sites. And this is something that is, you know, it hurts us. It hurts those that believe in the libertarian freedom movement. You know, we believe in the Constitution, the Second Amendment, that we all have right to bear arms. For the police to be entering homes without warrants, threatening individuals, intimidating individuals to giving up their guns, and threatening to blow up property is ludicrous, and it's on the verge of domestic terrorism. Nowhere do I think it's acceptable for police to threaten to blow up your house or to blow up your safe. That's what they actually threatened. They threatened that they were going to blow up your safe if you didn't open it for them, right?
They said they were going to bust open my safe.
Okay, bust open your safe. They were going to bust open your safe, your gun safe, to get at your guns if you didn't open it for them.
Correct.
Amazing. Okay, so let's break it down really quick. We already have the video, but I want you to go a little bit more into detail how you led up to this. You've had some, well, like most 50-year-olds, you have some medical issues with your back and other issues. And could you talk about that and really quickly tell us the story of how this happened here?
Sure. My medical issues are a spine injury and I have diabetes. Those are my medical issues. I'm a disabled veteran because of my spine, but it started when I requested to see a pain management specialist for my spine. They came back with saying that I had to see a psychiatrist and a psychologist and a physical therapist, and then see a pain management specialist for a spine injury, which I did not go along with. I refused that because I said to them, I'm not going to see a spine a psychiatrist or a psychologist for a spine injury. I kind of saw where this was going with them. They wanted to label me. I kind of knew that. They're kind of sneaky, the VA, you know. So I kind of knew that was going to happen. I didn't want to go through with it. I've had issues with the Veterans Administration Hospital before. To get any kind of health benefits there that I thought that they agreed to when they gave me these benefits, I've had to aggressively advocate for these benefits. So there's a contention and there's been friction to get the benefits that I've needed. You know, I'm a 100% disabled veteran. It's not like I called up the Veterans Hospital one day and said, listen, I'm disabled, give me the benefits. No. It was a struggle just to get these benefits. I had to have, like, many doctors, diagnoses, not just one doctor, but many doctors, and it was a waiting period, all that kind of stuff. So it's been a contention all along with the Veterans Administration.
But never at any point were you under psychological evaluation.
I'm sorry?
But never at any point you were dealing with mental health issues with the VA.
No.
Okay, so let's get that clear.
Have I had to deal with a psychiatrist there for mental health issues, or anywhere else. You know, no private doctors either.
So you were looking to change your medication to get something that's more effective, and they wanted you to go through psych evaluations, and you refused those psych evaluations and just said, hey, let's just bring this back to the status quo. I don't want to get involved with a lot of mental health screening with my person, which seems like that should be a right.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly how it was. And about 6 months later, I was, like I said, I was going through some personal issues, and these are personal issues that I was dealing with personally with my friends and my family and stuff like that. And this morning, that morning of February 5th, I went to my buddy's house, and before before I left my home, I left a brief message on my answer machine that pertained to a conversation I had just previously had with him before I left the house. So it had to be taken into that context, and it was only meant for him to hear. No, and no, ever does the Veterans Administration call my house unless I call them first, and they're not around and they return my call. The excuse they gave me that day after I asked them, "Why did you call my house?" They said, "Oh, we called your house because you hadn't renewed your medication." And that is just ridiculous, because they don't take their time out of their day to call every individual veteran to remind them to renew their medications. As a matter of fact, they would let my medications lapse for as long as I would let them lapse. They would never call me to remind me to renew my medications. And not only that, but my medications didn't need to be renewed at that time.
So let's let everyone know, if a doctor recommends that you get a psych evaluation for an increase in pain medication or some other type of event, if you refuse that psych eval, you are put on some type of list and you're red flagged, and they are doing some type of investigative work on you, like calling your home, and that they wouldn't normally do. It puts you on another tier. I think people really need to understand that when they're working with their personal doctors and they refuse the psych medical evaluation, then they may be further investigated. And in this case, they called your house, you left a personal greeting for a friend, and it was something on the level of it sounded like you were just joking with them and saying, "Hey, we need to get out of here, the New World Order," something along those lines. And right, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to clarify something else too. When you are in a pain management clinic and you are seeing a pain management clinic at the VA, I guess you have to submit to a psychiatric and a psychological evaluation. However, I do not participate with the pain management clinic to get my medications for my spine at the VA. I had requested an appointment to see the pain management specialist. I get my medications from my primary care physician at the VA. He has nothing to do with the pain management specialist. So I had just tried to make an appointment, which the appointment that they came back with me is something I had never had to submit to before. I never had to, go to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist to meet with a pain management specialist. So this is something new. This is a new protocol that they have established at the VA, going through the pain management, which I was not part of. So I just want to make that, that part of it clear,
Okay, and
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Let's just get to the doctor. So the doctor called your home and put the police on alert that you were at risk because of some sort of greeting that you left to a friend, a personal message, and you were with this friend at a church at the time. And could you go forward and tell us what happened from there?
Yes, that's important. So I was at the church, and we attended, met with a priest there, and we discussed, my friend was concerned about me. So we talked to the priest and everything, whom I thought I was confiding in, so my personal problems were between myself, my friend, and the priest that was there, that we were speaking with. Had I known that was not being held in confidentiality, I would never have gone to that church. That church was right in the very close proximity of the West Haven VA hospital. So meaning that, you could really, it's literally a stone's throw. But, that was only because my friend lived right there. So I went to see my buddy. The church was next to his house. I didn't really think that any kind of, they would breach any kind of confidentiality.
Of course, everyone would think the same way as you. And what is disturbing about this, and I think people need to take into consideration, is you don't know who is working behind the scenes with law enforcement and the government to report you. So right now, you are just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and it looks like you can't trust your pastors, you can't trust your priests, and you can't trust your doctors because they're colluding behind you to get your guns confiscated and your permit's taken when you have no history of mental health. Did I nail that here or what?
You nailed it. And like I want to reiterate, like I told you, the doctors at the VA don't take time out of their day to call veterans to remind them to renew medications, especially when those medications are not late to be renewed, but they wouldn't do it anyway. They would just let the medications lapse. I mean, ask any veteran when the last time their doctor called up and asked them to renew their medications. It just doesn't happen. They have automatic lines set up to do this, to take care of these type of things for them.
You were put on a
get a personal service when you call any kind of company or phone company, and then definitely not the Veterans Administration.
You were put on a list. You were put on a list when you refused the psych evaluation, and the doctor or somebody at the hospital started an investigation on you with local law enforcement, and somehow they tied in your pastor or your priest. Which is, do you have any details on that, or how do you think
they weren't my pastor or priest? This was a random church we went to. We were first looking for a church that would be a small church. Couldn't find one in the phone book. Just ended up going to the church that was in town there. Yes, and they are in collusion with the police department. And like I said, it wouldn't have mattered if I had no message on my answer machine whatsoever. This was going to happen, regardless of whether or not I had a blank message on my answer machine. That was just the excuse that was made. It was total malarkey.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Any further,
because
I really don't know what to say, but that's the truth.
When you get on the list, they're going to find an excuse. And some of the commenters were mentioning, what was on this message, and what you have to say, and basically what I'm understanding is it doesn't matter. It was a personal greeting that you left for a friend, and and the VA never calls your house anyways. So for them to escalate this to that situation is just incredible. Then what happened when you were at the church? You got a call from the police directly to your cell phone, or what happened?
I got home 2 hours later and looked. I saw that the caller ID stated that the police had called my house, which was very unusual. So I called the police back. They said that my doctor had called, wanted to perform a wellness check. I said, okay, well, I'll come down and meet you, and you'll see that everything's okay, and I'll go on my way. They said, sure, come on down. I went down the street to the police department. I went to the receptionist. I told the receptionist while I was there. The receptionist said, yes, we were expecting you to have a seat in the lobby, and the officer will be right out. I did. I waited for, 15, 20 minutes. It could have been a half hour. No one came out. I got impatient. I basically, not really impatient, but I didn't want to stick around there. I left. I went home. I waited a few minutes. I recalled the police department. This is all a mistake. Hindsight is 20/20. I should never have called back, but I was just thinking, this is odd. I was just like, what's going on? I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, they took you by surprise, and a lot of people criticized, but many people would have done the same exact thing that you did.
Well, I had nothing to hide.
You had no idea they were gonna. You had no idea they were gonna break into your home, do a warrantless search, and seize your weapons. I mean, it was.
No idea that anything like that could have ever happened.
And they used a lot of intimidation, didn't they, with you?
Oh, absolutely. So anyway, I went home. I recalled the police department. Again, a stupid thing, but I did. I said to them, I was just there, and I waited. No one came out. They said, yes, we were called away, but we still like to perform a wellness check on you. They said, we'll come to your house. I said, well, you know something? I don't want the stigma of having a police officer parked right out front of my house. I just don't want that. I don't want that. I'll meet you down the end of the street. So I went down to the end of my street, and I waited for another half hour. They showed up, and I was calm. I was not impaired. I wasn't combative in any way, and I basically said everything's fine. Expecting to go on my way and have them go on their way, and they would have nothing, no part of that. They didn't even hear anything I had to say. And when I saw what they were going to do, I realized what was happening. They commandeered my vehicle. They took my keys away. They said, you can't even get into your vehicle. They said, we'll we're going to confiscate your weapons, and and I said, well, you can't do this. You have no warrant. This is totally warrantless. This is against the law. You're breaking every right that I have. They didn't even hear anything that I had to say. I was alone. I didn't have any witnesses with me. I knew that if I had resisted, I would be roughed up and arrested, and worse, maybe. You know what I mean? If I had resisted, they had guns. Okay, I didn't have any guns on me. I had no weapons on me whatsoever. I mean, I didn't want. I'm not a violent person anyway. I mean, that kind of like escaped my mind. I mean, resisting was not really an option at that point. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I was a little shocked. I saw where this was going. I knew if I had resisted, it would be trouble, and more trouble than if I had just complied, which I did. I complied. They came into my house. I had no witnesses again. If there was a witness, I don't think this might not have happened. But they came into my house without a warrant, searched everything in my house, threatened to. They said, if you don't open your safe, we're going to bust it open. Now, when I'm hearing that, I'm thinking also, if I had resisted, what would they have done to my physical body? So, again, I submitted all along the way. I am telling them that I don't agree with this. This is really absolutely wrong what they're doing. It didn't matter.
So they went through. Did they go through each room? Did they go through your sofas?
Yes, they did. They went through each room and looking under things. And I mean, I'm a tool maker. I had there are in tool makers tools. They sometimes have polish that it looks like it's in a syringe. It's called diamond polish, and it's in a little syringe. They're looking at my syringe and they're saying, "What's this?" I had to explain to them, this diamond polish that you polish metal with. This is nothing to be concerned of. I had nothing to hide. I didn't worry. I wasn't really worried they were going to find anything because I knew that there was nothing in my house that they're going to find or anything. But yes, they went through room to room, 2 police officers and 3 emergency medical staff. All went through all of my property, my belongings.
Terrible.
But like I said, I opened my safe, let them take it, take my guns out, and let them do whatever they wanted to, and all along the way, they're telling me, "Oh, you're being a real good guy. You're making our job real easy." Okay, well, that's great. And I spent the next 2.5 days in a psychiatric ward where if I had said one wrong thing, I wouldn't have gotten out of there. Not only that, but they hurt me.
So after they
After
they rifled through your house and threw your personal belongings around, they seized all your weapons, and then they took you away.
Yes, they did.
How was that? Did they put you in the back of an ambulance, or?
Yes, they put me in the back of an ambulance, and
But you had no control over the situation. You had to go with them.
I had to. I mean, either that or I resisted, which was really not an option. I mean, now looking back at it, I guess there could have been things I could have done, but by the time, I wasn't thinking that way. You know what I mean? That wasn't something that was crossing. I don't have that kind of mind where I could have said, "Oh, I could have feigned something like a heart attack or something." That wasn't going through my mind. What was going through my mind at that time was, man, I'm going to a psychiatric ward. I better behave. I'm not going to get out of there. I want to get I have a dog that has got to be taken care of. I just want to get the hell out of there, get back to my life, and that's it.
So how long were you gone in the psychiatric ward? Did they lock you down so you couldn't walk out of there on your own recognizance? You had no choice but to be there, huh?
2.5 days. So 2 nights, 3 days, and like I said, 3 days and 2 nights, like almost 72 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was.
What happened to your dog? What happened to your dog? Was anybody able to take care of your dog?
It was put into a kennel.
They took your dog. They took your dog too, huh?
Put her in the kennel, so it was locked up, freaked out.
Horrible.
There was a whole story behind that. It was. I was scared to death that they were going to put the dog down. So all that time I was just walking on eggshells. They, like I said, they stuck me with a needle. They drugged me.
What did they stick?
What did to me at that psychiatric evaluation?
What did they stick you with? What drugs did they put in you?
Well, I don't know exactly the drug that they gave me. The drugs were in pill form, but they kept on sticking me with needles, taking blood and urine samples. And okay, you know, you might not think that taking a person's blood pressure is, you know, hurtful, but it is. You know, if you take someone's blood pressure forcefully every half hour for the first like 16 or 20 hours, you take that person's blood pressure every half hour, it's hurtful. I was telling them, listen, I don't want my blood pressure taken anymore. It's hurting me. And then I was told by the doctors that I could have refused it, and I did refuse it. And then when the doctors heard that I had refused it and they kept on insisting to do this to me, the doctors even got upset with the nurses. And then so after I found out my rights, that I could have, told them I don't want this blood pressure kept on being taken from me every half hour. They stopped doing it. But if I didn't tell them that I knew the rules, they would have kept on doing it, even when I was
this gives us
complaining about it.
This gives us a very clear picture for my audience who, is in your age group. They're getting older, you have medical conditions, and they're going to their doctors for pain meds, and they're going to be these psych evaluations are going to be put in front of them. They're going to refuse. Now they know what is going to happen. You're going to get police officers busting in your door, going through all your personal belongings, threatening you that they're going to, bust your gun safe if you don't give up the guns, and then they're going to haul you away without any rights, stick needles in you, and put drugs in you for 2.5 days if you behave yourself. And you were lucky to, oh my God, you were lucky to get out of there alive. So
man, there were people there. There were people there for other reasons or whatever that didn't get out of there. They were there for years, and they were telling me, you better be cool here, or you're going to end up in a padded room and you're not getting out. Man, let me tell you about terrifying.
Oh my God, what was the most horrifying part of this experience on a personal level, now that you look back upon it? Was when they came into your home? Was it when they put you in the psych ward? What was the most horrifying aspect?
The most terrifying was the psych eval.
When was that, and what happened there?
The psych evaluation was 3 days or 2.5 days in the hospital under lock and key, where you can't get out and you're being drugged. That was the most terrifying, not knowing when you're getting out, because they don't tell you you're getting out. There's all kinds of stories there that are going around, and it's like a good cop, bad cop. They're playing head games with you the whole time. It's a crazy thing. It's something that I wouldn't wish on anybody. Let me tell you something. It was scary. That was the most terrifying thing.
Yeah, it's sad to say. I mean, you're a freedom-loving patriot. You're honorably discharged from the Navy, 50 years old, veteran. And you're the target, apparently, because it's to believe in freedom and the Constitution apparently makes you a target for mental health disorder. And the police are using, and the government are using everything at their disposal to intimidate you, to bust into your home. I feel sorry for your dog. Imagine if you had children or you were taking care of grandchildren, they would have been taken into CPS. And who knows what would have happened to them. Maybe they would have been lost in the system. You know something? I just talked to someone today who had a very similar set of circumstances happen. It's a woman with children who was a former police officer in California, and her husband was a former military person, and they harassed in the same town. They harassed her. And she's still, and this happened in October of 2012, and the decisions and everything were handed down in January, and she still hasn't gotten her weapons back. And they threatened to take away her children. It was a nightmare for her. I talked to a real estate agent recently, and this real estate agent is a real estate agent that's been in this town for, I'm talking about probably 30 years. She knows everybody, and she said that this town is very corrupt, and there are many people who have been harassed
authorities here for things, you know, for I don't know, all kinds of different things. You know, and they pick on the weak people. So they pick on the people who don't have a lot of money, don't have a lot of you know, backing with family or whatever, or friends, and you know, or whatever, connections, or you know, or just people they want to target, you know. And you know, they pick this. They're very cowardly. They don't go after people who can fight back, you know.
You're 100% correct on that, and it's too bad that we can't grow old in America and feel safe and secure. But it seems as if the powers that be want us in fear. They want us in fear for our lives as we grow older, and they just do everything they can to get their grimy hands on your body and take you in and commit you and make as much money on you as possible. And that's the honest truth. Real quick, I wanted this to be kind of an update. I know you got to move forward on with your life. Could you give us an update? Only tell us what you feel comfortable, because I know you got to make some major moves in your life to get away from this situation. What could you give us as far as an update? Because the first video has about 20,000 views. I know a lot of people are wondering what do they do once they go through a situation like yours.
Well, I would definitely. I'll give you an update anytime that you want. As soon as anything changes, I am you know, considering some drastic changes in my life for sure. I mean, I don't really want to stick around here knowing that at any time, without any due process of the law, police can come into my home and cart me away. This is something that I can't tolerate, and I don't like to live like this. I had never had to live like this before. I don't want to live like this, so I might be looking to go find a state that's more patriotic.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a story on Las Vegas. There's a lot of retirees that are moving out there. It's very low cost of living, $400 apartments, very good infrastructure for seniors. But anyways, Connecticut looks like there's some major issues going on here. I know this is very scary to a lot of people, and there's nothing preventing this doctor from getting the authorities to take you back in again. I mean, that's got to be weighing heavily on your mind that this could actually happen a second, third, fourth time.
Yeah, it's scary, man. This is unbelievable. I've been devastated by this. My whole life is turned upside down. And not like that, but you know, it's not like I've got a unlimited fortune to spend on attorneys, you know, and not like that, but it seems to be that the court system is rigged. So even though I play their game, I'm fighting a deck that's stacked against me. So
yeah, what they do is, and I'll tell you what I've seen, is they'll have you fill out, you know, anger management classes, or they'll have you get involved in these programs. The judge will order it, and then what they do is they use those programs as a dossier to build up even more material to use against you, to you know, take your property, take your life, take your livelihood. You're already this has costed not only the emotional and mental pain. We're talking thousands of dollars. You're out right now, right?
Yeah, the most of the medical expenses have been taken care of by either Medicare or by this thing that the Veterans Administration has told me that they got, because the remainder of the bills that the Medicare doesn't cover, it's called a Millennium Bill or something like that. But yes, it's been several $1,000s of legal expenses and my property. So, you know, just one of my guns, I lost 3 guns. Just one of them was $1,000. So, you know,
Wow.
that's, you know, it's been a lot of money. Several $1,000s in cash plus my weapons, and that's not even it. I mean, there's still going to be more legal expenses down the road here.
And right now you have no protection. If there were armed thugs that entered into your house, you have no way of protecting yourself.
That's correct.
And I guess that's where they want you. They want you totally dependent upon the state entirely for your protection. Truly, truly amazing. Well, Dave, I appreciate you being on the show for the second time. I'll call you in about a week. I have a feeling you're going to be getting other calls of support. We're going to put your email in the description box. If you guys would like to help out Dave in any way possible, I'll give you his contact information. But we need to make sure this video goes viral because this is totally, totally unconstitutional, unprecedented. It's amazing how the doctors are turning against their patients and working with government to break into your home, seize your guns, and then admit you to a psych ward where they're going to be sticking needles and putting you. This sounds like something in another country. This doesn't sound like America, does it?
No, and I just want to add also, I am going to be giving an interview, not only by phone, but like a regular video type of interview to We Are Change Connecticut this week sometime. So that should be also something that might be put on the internet. I'm not sure.
Okay, Dave, I appreciate being on the show. Take care, brother. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, George. Bye.
Okay, guys, G for T, SurviveandThrive.tv. I know we kind of rehashed that video, but Dave deserved it. He's been through hell, and I think we dug a little bit more deeper down into that story. The last video has almost 20,000 views in 2 days, so it warranted a more in-depth video with Dave. I was shocked. I was shocked that not only does the government come in and intimidate you to give up your guns, but that they will haul you away and put you in a psych ward, sticking multiple drugs and needles in you. That is very, very disturbing. Any normal person could easily lose it underneath that situation. And I guess if you don't, that's a testament to Dave and his mental well-being, mental health well-being, that he was able to keep it together. I'm sure there's many of us that would have lost it, and then that would have given them an excuse to not only put you away for weeks, but you could be in there months, and who knows, maybe you end up there for the rest of your life if you can't keep it together and you do something regrettable. G for T, SurviveandThrive.tv, guys, check out the website. We'll probably have more information there. It's just amazing. I'm in shock. My prayers, my prayers and thoughts go out to Dave, and I'm going to put his contact information. Please think about helping Dave. There's a couple people from Connecticut, I'm sure, that are affected by this. He looks like he needs some support, and it looks like there's not many people you can trust when you're a patriot. Be very, very careful out there, guys. Apparently, America is no longer a free and open country. You got to be careful what you say, or they're going to come in, break into your home, take your guns, and throw you into a psych ward. Peace out. God bless. Take care.